led to article after article of people being like, Ellen is a nasty person. And all these staffers started to come out, not for nothing, but I know a guy, I know him very well, whose sister worked for her, who said, you were not allowed to make eye contact with Ellen in the halls of that show. If you saw her, this is not a nice person. So she eventually got canceled, but now she's coming back.
Hold on to your kombucha, because the so-called queen of daytime TV, Ellen DeGeneres, is getting a serious reality check. And it's coming from an unexpected duo, Megyn Kelly and Rob Schneider. Yep, you heard that right. The sharp-tongued journalist and the goofy comedy veteran are reportedly teaming up to take a closer look at Ellen's famous Be Kind image. And what they're finding isn't all sunshine and rainbows, but more like a corporate storm brewing underneath. Stay tuned, because this isn't just chatter, it could be a full-on breakdown of a carefully built public image.
I have a question for you on this. This is perfect for you, because I'm seeing this week that there is an attempted comeback by somebody who did not cross one of those fateful lines of the misstepping on their sacred cows of gender or race or sexuality.
Yeah.
But she was said to be a nasty biatch, and that's Ellen DeGeneres.
Yeah.
So her show got canceled after she had this testy exchange with Dakota Johnson, where something happened where Dakota said, oh, I had this birthday party. And Ellen said, well, why didn't you invite me? You didn't invite me. And she said, like, no, I did invite you, Ellen. That's not what happened. And Ellen had blown her off and then tried to play the victim on the set with her. Anyway, it led to article after article.
It's like watching a perfectly staged play suddenly fall apart. And the critics aren't holding back. Picture two unlikely investigators stepping into the polished world of daytime TV, ready to shake things up. Megyn Kelly, with a sharp eye for details and a no-nonsense style, teams up with Rob Schneider, who brings wild humor and chaos wherever he goes. Together, they become a force aimed straight at Ellen's carefully built image of kindness. It's almost poetic. Schneider, a longtime comedy figure known for bold, sometimes controversial jokes, standing beside Kelly, the face of serious journalism. Just imagine the boardroom meeting.
All people on earth to be feeling sorry for herself, Ellen DeGeneres should not be on the list.
She should at least, but make a real apology and do it.
There's no apology. It's just woe is me. I was run out of Hollywood as she speaks from this grandiose stage on Netflix. Hello, you haven't been canceled if you are doing a Netflix special. She got $20 million for the one before this.
Megyn Kelly is the kind of person who asks the quiet questions out loud. And on this one, she didn't hold back. She didn't tiptoe around it, she went straight at Ellen's carefully built public image. It's like watching someone slowly take apart a Lego castle, piece by piece, while pointing out why the design was shaky from the beginning. She essentially called Ellen out for putting on a mask of niceness, held together by a very strong PR machine. And honestly, it was a bold move, but one she clearly felt was necessary.
We're gonna let her back in, Rob, because she's a lesbian, she's a leftist, and she didn't hit one of their sacred cows. Nastiness, that's their bread and butter.
Well, I think everyone, I will say, like, the resentment, I think everyone should have a chance for reconciliation. I don't think Jesus exempted anybody. And so I do, while it does, because I have been allowed back in, but I don't hold any grievance and resentment. It's very important. And I would just say for Ellen, the resentment, you have to know, you have to get over resentment to whatever addiction or addictive qualities happen. To get over it, you have to deal with resentment and address it. And then otherwise you're going to fall back into the same pattern.
Let's be honest. Ellen spent years building a brand as the fun, relatable friend everyone would love to grab coffee with. But over time, reports of a toxic work environment started to tell a different story. Those whispers kept growing, like a pressure cooker slowly building toward a breaking point. It's a bit ironic that someone who promoted kindness was allegedly running a workplace that felt so tense behind the scenes. Megyn Kelly didn't just focus on a few isolated complaints. She suggested it was something deeper, a pattern of avoiding responsibility and brushing things off. It's almost like the whole kindness image was a carefully staged illusion, and Kelly stepped in to show what might be going on behind the curtain.
The right response.
Yeah.
She's got a Netflix special, and here's the capper. On the promo, she plays the victim. And she says, poor me. And she actually has the nerve to say that she was run out of Hollywood. This person
with $100 million in her pocket.
$450 million according to Forbes. That's a low estimate.
Yeah.
Because so now she's out there saying, I was run out of Hollywood. She's actually reportedly complaining about how hard it is for women in America with the double standards.
Look at Oprah, how hard it is for her.
Oh, she's got, like 10 houses, Ellen DeGeneres?
Michelle Obama, look how hard it is for women in America. They're hurt.
The thing is, Ellen's Be Kind motto kind of turned into a punchline, didn't it? It became a symbol of the gap between her on-screen image and the stories that were coming out from behind the scenes. It's like selling bottled water while quietly polluting the river. Meanwhile, Rob Schneider came at the whole situation with the subtlety of a marching band at a funeral, total chaos. But there was a method to it. He focused on the irony, the performative side of all that kindness talk, and turned it into comedy gold.
With a single tweet, a user asked his followers to share the craziest stories they'd heard about Ellen being rude, and what followed was pure chaos. It was like watching thousands of people piece together a giant puzzle of bad behavior. One user replied with, quote, I worked at Real Food Daily, served her and Portia at brunch. She wrote a letter to the owner and complained about my chipped nail polish. Not that it was on her plate, but just that it was on my hand. I had worked till the closing night before, and it was just the next morning. Almost got me fired.
Rob Schneider, the comedic wildcard, basically painted the Ellen Show like a strange world, where forced smiles and staged happiness were just part of the job. Imagine even the water cooler talk, if there was any, feeling just as controlled. That picture is a sharp contrast to Ellen's public image. It's almost like he was saying, I'm not convinced. This doesn't feel real. It feels carefully put together. His blunt style cuts through Hollywood polish like a hot knife through butter. Schneider comes across like a court jester teasing the queen, but there's a hint of truth behind the jokes.
The Ellen situation.
Yeah.
You know, people found out that Ellen was mean, and all these people came out and said, Ellen's actually a bitch. And everybody, whoa.
Yeah.
Can't believe it. And she lost everything. She fell apart, disappeared, because people found out that this character that she was portraying in a half an hour on a television show is not really who she was. My buddy Greg, who was one of her writers, was like, she's a piece of shit. And he was like, she's a monster.
Together, Megyn Kelly and Rob Schneider created a kind of perfect storm of truth-telling. Kelly, with her precise investigative style, and Schneider, with his sharp comedic edge, highlighted the cracks in Ellen's public image. Think of it this way. Kelly is like a surgeon carefully examining the issue, while Schneider is the demolition expert knocking down whatever's left. They're an unusual pair, but their combined effect is hard to ignore. The whole idea of Hollywood kindness starts to feel like it's falling apart, like a cheap sweater unraveling in the wash. It's almost as if they're both saying, remember that perfect image you believed in? Take another look.
Have they made progress with this strike?
They're picketing right now, so I think it's the early stages. I would think it might take a little bit with this one.
When someone crosses the writer strike, that's some dirty shit. Do they cross the picket line?
Yeah, I haven't seen anybody doing that yet.
I think Ellen did. I had a buddy of mine who was writing on Ellen. Everybody kind of knows now what she's really all about. And that's another one of those. Like, I'm so nice and I'm so sweet. Being behind the scenes.
The irony is hard to ignore. Ellen built her career on being relatable and spreading joy, yet allegations of a toxic workplace painted a very different picture. It's like a magician who's brilliant at pulling rabbits out of hats, while something uncomfortable is happening behind the curtain. Suddenly, the Be Kind mugs and t-shirts feel less like uplifting slogans and more like awkward reminders. When you step back, it starts to look like a deep contradiction. A brand built on kindness alongside claims of a very different reality. Almost like labeling something fragile while it's carrying a lot more weight than it should.
People would have been pleasantly surprised to find out I'm kind.
Well, yeah, that's disingenuous. That's disingenuous.
Yeah, disingenuous.
Disgenerous. That's disgenerous. Well, I think you should, I mean, there's certainly no lack of, I don't sense any humility.
No.
In that.
No. And no one cares that now she's dealing with chickens. It's like, all right,
You're a normal $450 million person.
And by the way, I guarantee you she's
Who's
worth
taking care of her
more.
chickens? I guarantee, what's that? You guarantee what?
She's worth a lot more than $450 million.
Her art alone.
And like those talk show hosts.
What's interesting is how two people from very different worlds and styles ended up reaching a similar conclusion. Ellen's public image starts to look like a carefully built illusion, almost like a puzzle where a few key pieces don't quite fit. And both Megyn Kelly and Rob Schneider notice those gaps in her own ways. But this goes beyond just one person. It points to a larger issue in celebrity culture, where polished, carefully managed images are presented to the public. In that way, her story becomes a cautionary example, a reminder that authenticity matters and that it's difficult to maintain something built only on appearances and surface-level positivity.
Too much. I can't stand these rich celebrities who want us to feel sorry for them. We don't, right? It's like all those you saw, like Julia Roberts on the Oprah special with Kamala Harris, like, oh, and Meryl Streep. Like,
I know, winning over the hearts of people who live in gated communities everywhere.
Well, wait, are these still your people? Are you still in California?
No, I had to move out of California because I got little kids. And
we understand why.
It's dangerous to, in California, take your kids, in public schools. In the morning you drop off a girl, in the afternoon you pick up a boy. You never know what.
The carefully crafted apologies and emotional goodbyes start to feel like damage control more than anything else. Too little, too late. It's like trying to patch a broken dam with duct tape after the water has already rushed through. Ellen tried to steer the narrative, but by then the story had already spread. And the audience isn't just watching anymore, they're questioning, paying closer attention, and wondering who else might be hiding behind a polished image of kindness. Even the Be Kind shirts and mugs that once felt harmless now look different in hindsight, almost like symbols of a bigger disconnect. So where does it go from here? Does she manage a comeback with a new focus on authenticity? Or does she fade out as a reminder of how quickly public perception can change? Either way, it feels like Hollywood is still reacting to the shockwaves, reassessing the images it promotes and the people it elevates.